This week we are going to learn about HTML5 forms. And you're going to start with the web-based readings. And there aren't all that many this week. I did include one on how to style forms, but a lot of the information that you're going to get is actually in the lecture demo. And I have like a little separate video at the top here explaining how the form and the form elements work. And forms are actually pretty important, especially when you get into back-end development, because we pretty much deal with the forms when we update online databases. So these are pretty heavily used. And HTML5 has a lot of new features that actually have taken some of the programming, some of the data validation programming away. We don't have to do it anymore because it's built into HTML5. So these little components I have here describes what they are, and they are interactive, which is kind of fun. So you guys can kind of play around with those. And then we get into the form tag and the different attributes that you can use with that, how to do a mail to action. Most forms are submitted to scripts, and then the scripts process the form. And you can also have the form data sent through the email. Okay, so it explains all of that. Then when you're setting up your page, how to put some grouping elements in, which are basically the field set and the legend. And then we get into the actual input tags, which there are many. These are all different types of input tags. So it's the type attribute that tells the web browser what component you are using. And you can see all of the new ones in HTML5. And then in addition, we've got all of these attributes that you can add that affect how that form area responds. So there's one that you can affect the size. There's one that allows you to affect the number of characters you can key in. There's another one that says it's required. So if they submit and they don't fill it in, it flags it as an error. So all of these attributes help customize that form area. So you're going to want to read through all of that. And then I have tons and tons of examples. So I basically give you the code and show you what it looks like online. So this little password example, this is one that you can actually type in. Same with the first and last name. Same with the radio buttons. These are all interactive, and I've provided the code for you. So you can kind of check out all of these little form elements. So you can not only see how they work, but how you code them. So you definitely need to spend a little time on the lecture demo this week so that you are familiar with these elements. And then you're going to go in and do the textbook assignment. And I will warn you that this is a fair amount of typing in this assignment, because you're going to be creating a form. But once you get this form created, you can actually do a lot of copying and pasting to create any other form that you're going to use. So I do have the videos like I always do. And I do have like an HTML document that's going to house your form. But, you know, if you look at it, it's just basically a background graphic and kind of a title. I did include some CSS in here for you for labels, for fields, all of that. So you're not going to have to worry about that quite as much. And you'll notice that I also included where you need to submit this to. I have a script that you're going to submit to. And what the script is going to do is it's going to show you the name value pairs. So in your form, every single element has a value that's keyed in, and then it has a name that goes with that value that you're specifying in your code. So it's going to show you all of those pairs. So you can kind of see here, I've got the opening and closing form tag, and you are going to be adding everything in between. And so that is a considerable amount of coding. So you're going to right click and save this. And then you're going to right click and save the graphic to Lesson8 Media. And then this is nothing you can type because it is a graphic, and it is showing you that form tag and the heading that I just showed you. And then below that is everything that you have to type. So when possible, you're going to want to, copy and paste and customize. But I'm not going to lie, this is a lot of typing. Okay, in this particular exercise, and that is because it is your first one. And then you'll save your changes and you'll view it offline, and it should look like this example. So if you do not see all of this, that means you skipped a section. Okay, so you're definitely going to want to go back up and figure out what you skipped, because if you don't include all the sections, I guarantee I will catch that and you'll have to resubmit it. So that is the majority of this assignment. Okay, so you'll save it, you'll test it, you'll submit it. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take that same form that you have completed, and you're going to save it under a different name. You're going to call it Mail to Customer Form. And then you're just going to change the first line, okay, the form line, and you're going to make it a mail to form. Now, mail to forms are actually pretty cool, but in order for it to work, when you submit, you have to have a client mail program on your machine. Google Mail, Yahoo Mail, those are not client programs. Those are web-based programs. Okay, so you need a client program. So if you test this, it may not work for you because you don't have a client program. If you don't have a client program installed, it's going to ask you to install one. So may or may not work depending on what you've got installed on your machine. But that is the assignment, and you're going to transfer everything to the web. Then your lab assignment is to create your own form. And so it is very similar to the form that we did in the textbook assignment. So you can actually use that form as a basis. Like, you can copy all of that form code and then just tweak it. These are the requirements of this assignment. So you make sure that you have all of these requirements in the form. Okay, but a lot of them are going to be there, or they're going to be close just from copying and pasting. Okay, I do want you to have a hidden field with a mail to. So this is basically how this little hidden field is going to look. Hidden fields do not display in the form. Typically, you will put those in if the script that you are submitting to requires something that you don't want to include in the form. Okay, so it's very common to have a hidden field. And so your form tag itself, make sure you have this action, so you're submitting to the form processor. And as far as the styling goes, it is totally up to you how you style your form. You can kind of do it like the running one. I have another example. This, I called it student preferences, and you can kind of see what I did with this one. Okay, in fact, I should expand that background graphic, which I might do. But that is the assignment. Once you finish your form, then you're going to update your assignment page. And so under the textbook section, you're going to include your customer form and the mail to form. Under the lab assignments, you're going to include the form you created, make sure the links work, and transfer everything to the web. Okay, then last, because forms are kind of cool, you are going to share your form with the class. And so when you share your form with the class, you're going to give a link to the form. So I showed you my student form. So I will use this as an example. So I've got student preferences form, post a link. So here is the link button. I'm going to press Control V to paste, and then I'm going to open it in a new window. And then who is the audience? Copy and paste that question. Who is the audience? My audience is students and potential students. So maybe current students and potential students. What is the purpose? So it'd be to find out preferences for class days and times. And then how did you decide on the design and the layout? Let's see, I chose a nature theme because the college is up north. And I grouped based on purpose. So address information is together. Class information is together. And I also used a Flexbox layout. So it is mobile friendly. Okay, so that is my post. If you are a person who finishes this before everybody else, you certainly can review my post and reply to it. But you are supposed to review other students' posts and reply to at least one. So if nobody else has posted anything, feel free to reply to mine. And that is the assignment. So hopefully you guys will have fun with this. As I said, that first textbook assignment is a lot of typing, but after you're done with that, it isn't too bad because you can do the copy and paste.